everyone, it's Marabelle Blue with a new coaching life reality. And I finally got the name of my own channel correct after changing it. Welcome everyone to this channel. I am so glad you're here. As you know, this channel is a little different from Unfiltered. We talk about relationships, we talk about tarot and all of the different alternative belief systems. And of course, I do have Andrew coming in periodically. We're going to be talking more topics. He was here the last time. We were discussing why people think that it's okay to play therapist without a license. Very, very dangerous to do. So don't do it. I can't say enough. Today's topic, I'm going to talk about relationships, respect for yourself, respect for your choices, and why people decide to deflect on what it is that they're looking for. What makes that one person suddenly special when they're really not and they're just playing a game on you? Again, if you are new to this channel, please consider subscribing. And if you are not new, welcome. A few weeks ago, I was watching Howard Stern interview JB Smoove, and there was something that he said when Howard asked him, what does love mean to him? What defines love in a relationship, or for whoever it is that's looking to settle down with that one person? How do you know? One of the things that he says, you have to make a sacrifice. You have to be willing to give up something in order for you to be with that person, make that person feel comfortable. And not just the one side, but both sides. And this is very, very important. I don't think that people realize relationships is about relating. What do you have in common with one another? What makes both of you happy? Yes, granted, when people come into relationships, they start melding their lives together. Friends become the same friends, but you also have your individual friends that you might want to go out with, that you want to hang out with, whatever the case may be in that aspect. You don't stop living because you're in a relationship with someone. However, looking for that person is the part that makes life difficult sometimes. Here's the thing, everyone wants to be in a relationship. The thing is, they don't know how to find a relationship. They don't know how to go about it. And yes, while online apps could be super helpful, they're not the ends all that says all. Ideally, back when I was dating, I was going out and meeting people, which was quite fun, even though a lot of the times it didn't turn out to be anything. Most times I was able to gain a friendship out of that person as opposed to a relationship. And there are people that I know that I've dated that are now married, they have children, or they don't have children, or they purchased a house with that partner. They are very, very happy, which is what I like to see. I don't begrudge them because it didn't work out between them and myself. That's not the whole point. The whole point is if they become your friend, you want to see their happiness and their best interests being fulfilled within another person, if that person cannot be you. But then here's the flip side to certain things. What if you feel you found that person, but that person doesn't reciprocate what it is that you're feeling? Hence the dilemma that occurs. I get a lot of people who contact me. They want me to do spells. They want me to figure out why this person isn't engaging with them like the way they want them to. And I'm going to share a little piece of myself because without me sharing my own personal experiences, it doesn't become valid. And I always believe when you share a piece of yourself, you're sharing that aspect for someone else to relate and understand and hopefully surpass what it is they are looking to attain when it comes to relationships. Most importantly, to attain a level of self respect for yourself and for others around you. I've been seeing a lot of things on TikTok in regards to relationship and red flags and narcissism. And I'm not going to get too much into the narcissistic aspect only because of what I've been through, and I'm not really prepared to talk about those things just yet. Don't worry, I'll get there, but not now, not today. What I want to focus in on, why is it we continue to keep the door open for people who are not invested in us, who doesn't have a vested interest in pursuing a relationship with us? And like I said, I'm going to share a piece of me with you guys so that you understand the experience. I met somebody and people ask me about him, and I will tell you this. I met somebody and I fell super hard for this person. I wasn't even anticipating for any of that to happen. And it took a long time for me to just come to a resolve that he probably wasn't as interested in me as I was interested in him. And long and behold, he comes around and he doesn't say, I want to be in a relationship, but he does express interest in other things. We explored those other things, but then other things started to happen that made me feel like, gee, the L word is being thrown around. I didn't say it first, he did. There were little openings of perhaps, maybe this is going to happen. And it did not. It ended in a very bizarre way, almost as if there was a certain aspect of him that he probably felt I could not understand. And you know what? The bottom line is, it's not for me to figure out why this, why that. I really had to move on because it was a long time. And when I say a long time, I'm saying a couple of years, a long time, not like 5 or 10 years, but it was a couple of years that I was hoping and praying and asking the gods to please open up his eyes and see how wonderful we can be together. We can't force people to see shit they don't want to see. They have to live their own path. And you know what? A year from now, and who knows where I'm going to be a year from now, he can turn around and say, you know what? I made a big mistake. I treated you wrong. I treated you with disrespect. I apologize. I want to try again. I could be in a place to say, you know what? I appreciate your honesty and I appreciate your apology. However, I've moved on and I'm not going to participate in your cycle of whether you want to or not, whether you want to be in a relationship or not. And I've seen other people do this to themselves. And a lot of times I say to myself, why? Like, did you not just hear my story? I shared everything. I displayed everything. And you're still trying to accomplish and achieve the same thing that I didn't have any success in. And probably nobody ever will. Why is it that people look at other people and say, how did they wind up together? There have been stories that I have heard of guys saying, you know what? I met my wife. I wasn't good to her. Well, this before, like when they were in pursuit of each other. She pursued me. I ended up walking away. Then several years later, I came back and it all worked out and I love her and I realized what a terrible person I was to her. That's not to say that's unrealistic and that that person wasn't open to the opportunity. In my situation, I felt like I opened up my heart, I opened up myself, but I wasn't being completely honest about how I wanted something exclusive. There was something I had seen on YouTube. There's a guy called Crew Season with a Krewseason. He talked about in his video about people fearing losing someone and they won't say certain things. They won't talk about what they really want out of fear of losing that person. 100% I could relate. I wasn't fully expressing myself to this person about I wanted exclusivity. I wanted to try new things, but with them. I didn't want to try with other people because I trusted him. He showed me that I could trust him with certain aspects of myself. But when it came down to me just wanting to tell him how much I was in love with him, how much I wanted exclusivity with him, how much I wanted to build a relationship with him, I did not share those things because I felt like if I just stayed quiet and played along, sooner or later, he's going to open up that door. He's going to express himself, open up his heart, and tell me everything that I've been waiting to hear. And that never happened. Does that mean that if I had shared with him how I was really feeling, would that have changed his mind? Probably not. He is in a different place in his life that I have to respect that aspect. I have been there. I did not want to be in a place where I wanted to settle down. I wanted to explore. I wanted to live the best life that I could during that time when I was dating. So I understand. Does it make my heart a little less broken? No, it doesn't. I have my moments. I mean, granted that I am talking about it in the ways of without any feeling. Believe me, I do have my moments. There could be a song that will come up on the radio or some joke or something that I'll see on television or something that I'll just run across that will make me think of him and how much we laughed together and had fun. And I'm not going to talk about it because now I'm thinking about it and it's very painful and sad. I've always said if he could just see what a beautiful person he is, maybe he would see himself differently. I've always said you can't force someone to see what you see in them. They have to live their own path. Going back to pursuing somebody who is not interested in you at all is very scary. I have heard many stories throughout the years of women talking about how they're pursuing a man, how they're doing spells on him to get him to love her. And they don't realize, and I'm a person, I do magic, I like candles. I don't like candles. And I just don't believe this. And again, this is just me. No offense to anyone who feels like it's okay for them to do it. If that's what you choose, that's all well and good. When somebody comes to me and says, I want to break up this couple because I feel like this person would be better off with me than with that person, I'll pay you X amount of dollars to do the spell. I would have to turn it down immediately. I would not take anyone's money to do something like that. You don't know why this person is with them, why they chose that path. And for anyone to come and disrupt that path, those are narcissistic tendencies of I'm the better person. I'm what they need. No, you're not. I hate to tell you this. Anyone who feels that way, no, you're not. I'm not being mean. I'm just being truthful in what I've learned when it comes to relationships. There have been many of people who thought that I was the one for them. I didn't feel that way. Therefore, I am not with a person who feels like, oh, but you're the one. Both of the feelings have to be mutual. If it's not mutual, then why are you with that person? Granted, in this day and age, there are people who stay married for the right and wrong reasons. They're financially invested. They have children. They can't leave because of financial reasons. They can't afford alimony and being able to live for themselves at the same time. So they stay married and they argue in front of their children. They may not sleep in the same bed. You don't think after a while a child is not seeing that as they grow up, because they don't stay little forever. They grow up, they become aware of what's going on with their parents. And sometimes, if not all the time, this is the influence that they're getting from their parents on relationship and communication. One thing that I talked about on my video shorts about a client who was feeling distressed because he had this rapport with this girl, and now all of a sudden the girl has disappeared. And he was talking about, should I contact them? Should I talk to them? Should I send a message? And I said, wait about a week. If you don't hear anything, there's no reason for you to contact them. And if you do contact them, and this is something that I had seen on another YouTube short, was send a message. You can always send a message saying, hey, hope all is well. Have a great day. And just leave it at that. Don't put messages out. Hey, haven't heard from you. Hope everything's okay. You're waiting for a response. Hey, haven't heard from you. What's going on? When you send messages like that, you're sitting there waiting for a reply from that person. You have to put it in a way where that person receives the message and you're basically giving them the choice whether to respond or not in the ways that you are putting the message. But when you put it in the ways of that you're waiting for a reply, chances are we'll be sitting there waiting, especially if you haven't heard from them in a week. And people are good for doing this. When I was dating early on, after I had broke up with my ex in 2000, I was one of those people that just suddenly stopped talking. And then it was always the other way around. The ones that I was interested in, they always stopped talking. So it was always this back and forth game. Like, why isn't anybody communicating? It was very early on the internet. Things were different. People were setting up fake profiles. MySpace was around. What I liked about MySpace was Tom started coordinating events in different cities so that everybody can meet each other in a safe space, which was pretty cool. Because if you met that person and you weren't interested in them, but there was somebody else in the crowd that you much prefer to be with, they were there. And that was the wonderful thing about MySpace and what Tom was doing for the community. And it's too bad that that ceased and we ended up with Facebook. I really feel with Facebook, a lot of the problems that we have today is a result of that social network, so to speak. The other thing that I wanted to talk about was being accommodating. There's nothing wrong with being accommodating to people who are also accommodating to us. There are people who will reveal themselves early on in dating. It really is a matter of making sure that you are paying attention to those red flags, if there are any. Like I said before, there are certain things that I don't want to talk about in the narcissistic abuse that I was enduring. I'm not ready to talk about that part of myself yet, but I will say this. There were many things that were apparent in what was going on in that moment. Either an attitude, things that he did that I felt were out of the norm, showing off things or being repetitive. And something always reveals what a scammer he was. I will always see something or hear something or see something on TikTok would take me back to that place of, oh my God, that's the shit that he said to me, or that was something that he was trying to do with me. I think after a while, you become that you don't want to be taken advantage of in that way. And for some reason, I have seen people now in this day and age get mistreated and still want to be with that person because psychologically they've somehow believed this person is the one. They have to figure it out. They have to get away from whatever situation that they're in. Once they get away from that, they're going to figure out that I have been the one all along. And then I start to wonder, who is the one that has the real problem here? Is it them or is it you? There's no reason for anyone to make accommodations for somebody who doesn't care about you, who's not taking the time out to be with you, to get to know you, to talk to you, to take you out on dates, to take you out to lunch, to take you out to dinner. If they're not doing that, why are you bothering? Seriously, why are you bothering? And it all goes back to what JB Smooth said in the beginning. When you want to be with somebody, you will get rid of the aspect of yourself, whether you have other girls or guys that you're talking to, whoever it is that you're talking to, that you remove yourself from that aspect and say, you know what? I found the one. This is the one that I want to be with, and I'm going to make accommodations. They've made accommodations for me. We're in a good place. We get along. We talk. We have a lot of things in common. Those are the things that make a healthy relationship. Relationships should never, ever be difficult. And I've said this time and time again. When you're going through hurdles and you're crying and the other person is being belligerent and you're being belligerent and you're fighting, what relationship is there? Tell me. You tell me why anybody in their right mind thinks this is so healthy. I'm so in love. We argue every day. We're always at odds with each other. We have friction all the time. Tell me how that's a relationship. And there are people to this day will stay in relationships like that thinking this is a perfect relationship. There's a distorted nonsense that I just can't get with. This goes back to stop normalizing things that are not normal. People may not agree with me. That's okay. You don't have to agree with anything that I'm saying. I'm talking to the people who want to better themselves when it comes to relationships. I'm talking to the people who want to make a difference with their partner, whether they have an existing relationship or not, or they are looking for a relationship. You don't have to succumb to anyone's nonsense because they're placing unrealistic demands on you, saying, well, in order for you to be in a relationship with me, you have to be this way. Since when? Finally, something I saw that completely disturbed me to no end. Something that I can't even understand. This guy, he's a YouTube short that I had seen at the Matthews fan, posted this video of a girl talking about how she's not ashamed of using men, of taking advantage of them, of milking all of their money because she's entitled to it. And she gives them this false sense that she wants to be in a relationship with them, but she's basically using them.
So you girls know my channel's about manipulating men, taking money from them, playing them. And a lot of comments say, do you ever feel bad? Do you ever think that karma's gonna get to you? The simple answer is no, I don't care. I don't feel bad at all playing these men. No remorse, no feelings towards them at all. Every time I do a guy dirty, the only thing that goes through my head is, did I elevate? Am I in a better position than I was yesterday? Am I happy? And if all those answers are yes, then I did amazing. I could care less. I actually envy myself a lot. If the most smartest people on this earth said, if you don't need to work, then don't work. I found out how to not work and get my business fund just by the way I talk. I could care less about how these guys feel. If their heart's broken because of me, that's something they need to personally deal with. That's their fault for getting their hopes up. Don't care.
This is very disturbing. It's disturbing on so many levels. It's disturbing because she's toying with somebody's feelings. That's one. Now that person doesn't trust other people to be with because they're basing their past experience and they're putting it into the present. And they're going to take it out on that person who doesn't deserve that. The other aspect of disturbing is people who aren't in their right mind. And I'm not going to get into the whole psychological aspects of it. It can become scary for somebody who isn't all there and then start looking at a person as like a target that they're going to get back at. And this is very real. It's very real. It's very scary. This is probably the reason why I'm hesitant on even just meeting new people because you just never know. There are many people who have contacted me from the past or even like recent people. They think any body part that they share is just supposed to change my mind about them. Certain aspects of a person's body is not what makes me excited. What makes me excited is a person that I can have conversation with, that I can laugh at a comedy movie with, that we can both be silly together, that we can go out and have fun. That level of intimacy doesn't compare to a size. And that's the reality of it. Relationships aren't based on just one thing. They are based on everything, everything that is you and everything that is them. Ask people who have been in long term relationships what makes them stay with that person, especially when the relationship is healthy and they're happy and they love being together. Those are the people that you would need to find and ask them, what's the secret? What keeps your relationship alive? Ask them and find out what the answer is. You're going to find that the answer is going to vary. It's not going to be just one. But the one thing that will remain is respect. That should always be your key ingredient when it comes to relationships. Yes, people are going to argue. That's a given. You're going to have disagreements. That's a given. But at the end of the day, for as long as both of you have respect for one another and you don't cross those boundaries of disrespect, you will always have a successful relationship. We're going to do two. We're going to do the Love's Book of Answers. I love this. I love this book. And we are going to do the Divine Feminine and Masculine Reunited. So let's see what the cards, let's just shuffle them a little bit and see what card comes flying out. See if it fits into the topic that we were talking about today. Well, it should. One twisted to the side. Lilith, goddess of power. Here we are. I am here to talk about the templates of feminine energy that trace right back to the creation of humanity, right back to myself and my dear sister Eve. I was created in the same moment as Adam. For this reason, I knew that we were equal. I was cast out of the Garden of Eden for not submitting to my counterpart. Eve was then created from one of Adam's ribs. Eve represents the template of the repressed feminine who has been taught to smile, look pretty, and not express her authentic emotions. I represent the wild woman, fully in her power, running free, not afraid of her sexuality and speaking her truth. It is not uncommon for a woman in her power to be shrouded in negative connotations. Look at the areas in your life where you feel unsafe to show your power. Where do you hold back at work, around family or friends, out of fear of being seen as a bitch? I am bringing forward the message today to you that you are safe. You are safe to be a wild woman. You can stand up for yourself and still be good. You can be a bitch and be of service. You do not have to play nice to be loved, valued, and good. What this world needs most now is authenticity, free expression of what is really held within, opinions, emotions, shadow aspects. It's time to run wild and free. That was pretty incredible. I really believe in the power of tarot and oracle readings. I think everything that I talked about on this episode really honed into you finding your strengths, your goodness within yourself, and standing your ground. If you don't stand your ground, you're going to not be happy. Are you just going to sit back and smile and pretend that everything is fine? Or are you going to get yours? And when I mean get yours, I mean like finding the confidence within yourself that you're going to find the right person who's going to stand by you, who's not going to feel intimidated by you, who's not going to be jealous of who you are. They are going to love you unconditionally. And that's what you want. And we are going to close out. Let's just do one more oracle reading. We are going to do Love Book of Answers. And let's see. Be silent, ask a question, and hopefully you will get your answer. So, what is the question the collective has? And let's see what this book has to offer. Have another plan to fall back on. That's your answer. So hopefully this video has helped you, and I really enjoyed putting this together. I love talking about relationships. It's one of my favorite topics. I have a lot in store, and I'm just going to make the announcement now. So a girl in a plant world and I were going to be doing a podcast together. I'm her co-host for her show. It is her show. Let me just put it out there. It is her show. We are going to be putting some things together, and I will be sharing all of those links once everything is live, and I'm really super excited about it. I love working with her and collaborating with her. I think she's just a wonderful, wonderful person, and I'm so grateful for her. I really, really am. She is such a good person and such a good friend. In the short amount of time that I've known her, it's like it's weird if I don't hear from her. You know what I mean? It's like she has just become a very important aspect in my life, and I'm truly, truly grateful for her. So we are going to be doing something together on her channel, and I'm looking forward to that. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Please share with love. Thank you so much for listening. And with all that being said, always remember, be good to yourself, be good to each other, and most importantly, take care of you. Bye, everybody.